Good evening and welcome to The Right Side, the show where we talk about today's news, views, trends, and opinions from an admittedly conservative perspective. I'm your host, Chris Pareja, and this evening we're joined by Peter Kuo. He is running for insurance commissioner here in California. And Peter, I'm glad to have you back on the show.
It's great to be here today.
And so a lot of the people that might be watching tonight may not be familiar with who you are or your background and some of the things that make you an impressive individual. I've watched you for several years now in various political capacities. But why don't you give the viewers a little bit of a background about who you are and the things that are important to you so they know who is the man behind the candidate.
Thank you, Chris. First of all, I want to wish everybody a happy Valentine's Day and also a Happy New Year. Chinese New Year is coming up on Friday, so 新年快乐，恭喜发财. And my story starts when I was 7 years old. My father was asking me, would you like to play piano or violin? You know, take a pick. It's just like many Asian family back in those days, you have to pick an instrument. And my mom was sitting on the side, she just kind of chimed in a little bit. She said, you should pick violin. And I asked why. And she said, it's easier to carry a violin on your back than a piano if you have to flee the country. And I kind of laughed at it. It's like, it's never going to happen to us. We're a great family. I mean, my father's making a great living as a scrap metal recycler. And but unknowns to us, 7 years later, when my mom cracked the joke that day actually happened. The government came along one day and asked us to forfeit all of our assets or go to jail. So we decided to give all of our assets to the government and came to San Jose, California, right here. And
From
that was
the country of
Taiwan.
Taiwan.
Yeah, and that happened in 1982. Been 35 years now. So so it took me 22 years to become a legal citizen of this country. And it is a very, very long process. So this violin, although it's not the original violin I brought when I was with me, this is the only thing that we carry with us, with me, when I first came here at age 14. And I went to Lincoln High School as a freshman, didn't speak English. In fact, I think I was stuck in the ESL class learning how to speak Spanish. So me llamo Pedro. That's actually my first name. So it was quite a
welcome to America. Learn Spanish.
Exactly. It was quite a journey, and I learned my language there. And I watched Three's Company to learn my English actually. The show Three's Company,
right.
Because my father would tell me. Jack Ritter. Yeah, sadly he passed away. So that's actually.
Sorry.
Jack Triplett.
Jack Tripper.
Yeah, John Ritter. That's his real name, right? So he taught me a lot of English, and I learned the American humor that way. And it's been quite a process. And went to San Jose State, also here locally, graduated with an aviation degree. So a week before I graduated, I went to take this test, check ride, to get my pilot's license, and had a little accident. I stepped on the wrong rudder, flipped the Cessna, and almost killed me and the instructor. So I came home and told my girlfriend at that time, not my wife, and that you're not going up again because I can't afford to lose you.
Right.
And of course, my parents agree with her. So I decided to pursue a safer career on the ground, become an insurance agent.
Well, you know that accidents happen from your past history,
yes.
Crashing planes and things.
Correct.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So I've been an insurance, licensed insurance professional with Farmers Insurance for 25 years now. Yeah. So every day I take claims. I help people to rebuild their houses. We just had a Santa Rosa fire. One of my clients' house actually burned down, and we're the first one to deliver a check to make sure she found temporary housing, take care of her pets, and rebuild her home. So it's in the process right now. And every day we help to fix your cars if you have a claim. A lot of broken windows lately, so I have to put my glass vendor on speed dial. Because it's happening so often now. People, even if there's a charging cable in the car, people will break your window and just take that, right? Okay. For whatever reason, I don't know. But it is putting a hit on the insurance industry as well. I mean, collectively, they have a loss ratio of 101%, meaning that every $100 they took in, they actually pay out $101.
Which is different than what you hear about big insurance companies and things on the media. Those greedy guys, they're all profit and they're actually losing money on claims.
But in reality, here's my personal opinion. Insurance companies consumers and insurance agent are like a three-legged stool, right? So you can't really stand on one without the other. And that's why I think insurance industry really needs to have someone like me who knows the industry very, very well.
Right.
With my 25-year experience, we can come up with solutions to meet the consumer's need.
And so, and you have an interesting background in that you have been politically active for a very long time. Obviously, you saw that government can be used as a weapon to
Yes.
dismantle families or chase people out of countries that they love, etc.
Yeah.
You have the background in the insurance industry, which is also...
Yeah, both car, home, health, as well as workers' comp. Those are things that I deal on a daily basis. And I know how to make sure the solution fits the problem.
But also, you've probably seen from the inside some of the hoops that people have to jump through when they're filing a claim to get through the environmental or governmental regulations and things within insurance companies, et cetera, which makes you different than someone who's just trying to get into a commissioner role as an activist position to dismantle,
to something else,
or a springboard, right?
Yeah. So I feel that is not my intention. Why I'm running, I'm not using this as a springboard really to run as a governor or anything like that. I really feel that this industry needs help, especially with affordable health care falling apart right now. We can look at some other countries who have the single payer program. It's working well, but again, does it work well here in America? I don't think so. But can we take part of the single payer and make it affordable for everybody, make it efficient, make sure that prices are transparent? There's a lot of things we can do if we have if we bring our heads together instead of say that's a Republican solution or a Democrat solution. This shouldn't be, insurance shouldn't be a partisan solution. And I think being a result-oriented problem solver, I'm sure I can bring my experience in those problems to fix it. Really, we really need to fix it. Yeah.
So for a lot of people, insurance commissioner is not something that they probably spend a lot of time focusing on when it comes to their ballot. It's not as emotional for people as gubernatorial or presidential races, things that are really media driven. It's one of those things that happens in the background but could have a large effect on people's day-to-day life or standard of living. Help us understand what the insurance commissioner role and jurisdiction is about.
Sure. The primary function of an insurance commissioner is to protect the consumers. And fortunately, the insurance industry are heavily regulated by the insurance commission. And to make sure it doesn't gouge the client, make sure the policy that they sell deliver the promise they're supposed to do. And thirdly is to make sure that we prevent fraud. And so those two things are all within the jobs of an insurance commissioner. Again, the primary goal is to protect the consumers.
Right. And help us to understand which parts of those areas you might decide that you're going to focus on if you were to be chosen by the people as the insurance commissioner for California.
Yes, I would start by using, I'll be a big proponent of using technology to reduce your premium, because there's a lot of things we can do, right, to reduce, when you use technology to reduce fraud, that in terms will reduce the loss ratio of insurance company and lower your rate. And so those are, that's one of the solutions I'm thinking about implementing. And the other one is, of course, make sure the fraud aspect of health insurance is cut down as much as possible. And thirdly is to make sure that the healthcare part, the affordable health care, is done properly and sustainable. Right now, it's not sustainable. If we decided to give health care for all, which is many of my opponents they're proposing is health care for all. So what do you mean by health care for all? Does it mean that if someone from Russia could come over here and get a knee replacement on our dime? I don't agree with that. So I really think that we need to take care of our own legal residents and citizens first before we can extend our limited resources to who are here undocumented. Again, it's not that we are not a compassionate society. We are. There will be a plan to take care of those people, but I really think we need to come to a sensible solution to take care of veterans first, to take care of our homeless problem first, and most importantly, take care of our citizens first.
Right.
Yeah.
Help us understand, do you have any stats around how much fraud actually exists, especially within California where the jurisdiction of this role would be, or how much of a burden people that are not legal citizens are putting on the system?
You know, you own a car, right?
Yeah.
You buy cars insurance.
Right.
Do you notice that one line there, uninsured motorist coverage?
Right.
Do you know how much on average that percentage is? It's 18%. So you're basically paying 18% of your car insurance premium for someone who might be uninsured. But again, insurance is required by law to be able to drive, right? So why are we paying that 18%? I don't understand that.
Right.
So, and that's just on car insurance alone. It's extra 18%.
Right.
Can you imagine if we can cut that down? And the other thing is about the healthcare fraud. The good estimate is about 28% of the every $100 we paid out, about $28 could be attributed to claims that is non-existent or fraudulent. Yeah. So it's quite a bit.
It's quite a bit.
Yeah.
And any ideas as far as what's the overall insurance ecosystem? What kind of dollars are we talking about for California?
Again, I really feel that I don't have that number off my head, but again, in my practice, as just on car insurance alone, there are rings of scam artists. What they will do is they have a buddy system where they have two cars, and this guy slam on the brake, and this guy slam on the brake, and you rear and this guy run away, right? So those are the very common fraudulent claims, where they got attorney, everybody lined up ready to sue all you're worth, right? Or take the limit on your policy. So those are things we should be stopping, hopefully with technology. Yeah.
Okay.
Dash cam, things like that.
Okay. Help us understand your political background, and because we need to know, where do you stand in relationship to your opponents that you'd mentioned earlier? What does the playing field look like, and how are you different from those folks?
Okay. So when I first became a citizen, and I was very excited, and I walk outside with my paper, and there were people, they're registering to vote, right? So I walk up to one of the ladies who has, a voter registration, and she asked me, would you like to register? I say, sure. I mean, this is my right. I'm very excited to vote for the first time. And so I asked her, which one has smaller government? Has small government. I mean, because 22 years ago, I was, my family were kicked out by a big government who spied on my parents and kicked us out. So I asked her which one is a smaller government. She says, oh, Republican. So I checked that box, and that was 12 years ago. Okay. And so I've been a Republican ever since. So I do understand the value of Reagan Republican. It's a small government and low taxes, and I always vote Republican until 5 years ago when the issues of SCA-5 came up. SCA-5 was State Constitution Amendment number 5, where they want to mandate only 16% of the Asian Americans can go into college here in California on UC and CSUs. And to me, that's just a slap on our face. For us who worked so hard, follow the rules, and become the citizen of this country, and all of a sudden, they're saying that because of your skin color, you can't go to the school that you want to go. And so I fought based on that, run as a state senator, and together with many Chinese American communities, our voice was loud enough to make sure Assembly didn't take on that task again. But of course, the Democrat Party believe in affirmative actions, which again, I strongly disagree. We should be a merit-based society versus a skin color society. And fast forward to 3 years ago now, when the presidential campaign in 2016, 2 years ago, I signed on to be on Ted Cruz's campaign. And I was actually his Asian American Coalition chair here in California. And on May 3rd, when he dropped out, I signed up to be on Donald Trump's campaign. Again, because it's a party loyalty thing. And at that time, I didn't know much about Donald Trump. But, I did sign up to be his county captain, covering 4 counties, from San Francisco, San Mateo, Santa Clara, all the way to Santa Cruz. So it's 4 counties. And we amassed 1,000 volunteers to make phone calls to battleground states. And we make 120,000 calls, which make a huge difference in those 4 states, which we all won. Yeah.
Excellent.
And then as recent as September of last year, I was his tax reform task force for small business right here in California. And we're very happy that he passed.
So you've been working in the Republican political circles for some time, getting behind causes that you agree with,
yes.
and actually, instead of just complaining or launching Facebook tirades, you're actually doing something about it.
Yes.
Putting your skin in the game. How does that differ from the opponents?
So again, it's out in the open now. As recent as yesterday, an ex-Republican, Steve Poizner, decided to run for the insurance commissioner, the same position as I am. He was the insurance commissioner for California from 2007 to 2011. So he's been MIA for about 8 years now. Again, Steve's a great guy, wonderful entrepreneur, did a lot of great things. However, I really feel that the party should be something we hold treasure with. And that shows your loyalty to a cause of small government, low taxes, and do things the right way, right? So again, I not to criticize Steve or anything like that, but I just feel that if he were to stick with his party, he would have probably, most likely would beat me during the primary. And of course, my Democrat opponent, Senator Ricardo Lara, he has one mission in mind: is to bring a single payer program, health care program to California. And again, his logo was health care for all, regardless of your immigration status. Regardless of your immigration status. Just think about that. I mean, anybody who has a knee problem or need a kidney transplant, if they move from out of state or out of country, regardless of your immigration status, we're going to take care of you. So when asked how are you going to pay for this, he says, increase taxes. So that seems to be the solution of Democrats, which I don't agree with. Again, yes, we do need to take care of those people, but can we figure out a solution that is sustainable? Right now, his solution is not sustainable.
Right. And to be clear, Steve Poizner is now running as an independent.
Correct.
And Ricardo?
Democrat, of course, yeah.
Is a Democrat. And then there are several others on the ballot as
Correct.
well, but those are the 2 primary opponents you're looking
Correct.
at facing as the election progresses.
Steve probably have 3 extra zero behind his name. Yeah.
As far as the amount of money in his war chest.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Any ideas as to why some of that is there? Is it because he has a track record? He's already been elected into the position.
Yeah, he does have the name idea. Again, I agree with that. But again, I'm hoping the party loyalty I have for Republicans, and people can vote for me, not just based on party loyalty, but as a licensed insurance professional. I can bring a lot to make our insurance system better. It's a great system. It started, almost 200 years ago, where in a fishing village, they put money together. If something happens, this money goes to that fisherman's family, and so it started, with that concept of helping others. So I think insurance companies are formed with a mission to help their policyholders. So it's a great system. That's not, break it all, make it into a big government thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So again, recapping the things that you think you would like to see taken care of. You said technology and reducing fraud, and then the third again.
Reducing fraud, using technology, reduce the fraud, and fix our healthcare system.
Okay.
Yeah.
And any more granular level details that you have on how you would do that, or is that just the macro level plan that you're putting out there for now? I mean, are there specific types of technology that we may be missing or that?
Yeah, there's a lot of medical technology out there, right? And I would be hopefully working with the administration to reduce the cumbersome process of FDA. There's a lot of technology out there that could be helping a lot of people. But because FDA's put such a tight control on it, it's almost impossible to get any new technology or new drugs through.
Right.
And I think Europe is a very good example. They have a fast track. If you have a clinical trial for something that is amazing, let's look at it. Instead of just go through the red tape and they are ahead of us in so many levels on healthcare. Let's learn from them instead of just this bipartisan bickering. Yeah.
Okay. And so when you're talking about helping with streamlining FDA process, is that something that a California level politician or a commissioner could affect?
California is one of the states where California starts, the rest of the nation will follow, right? And I think if we were to be able to, because California is by itself economically is the sixth largest country in the world, right? If it stands by itself, and I think we should be able to have a common sense solution to fix those red tape. Let's start something here. Let's start a clinical trial for a new drug or something like that, and that way we can show the rest of the country, hey, we're moving ahead. We're doing these policies we're implementing the policies that is helping the people, and why not? Right?
Right. One of the other things I know is a hot button for Californians across the spectrum, especially as the citizens become more seasoned in their years, is healthcare. What do you see as being a way to make the affordable healthcare plan in California, first of all, affordable?
Yes.
Because it's become less affordable since they made it affordable.
Yeah.
And are there streamlining processes that you know of that can actually enable that affordability to be realized and sustainability?
Yeah, of course. Let's look at the deductible first. I mean, your ACA have $7,000 deductible. Why can't we make the employer to pay that $7,000 as part of your salary? And in a sense, it's almost like a health saving. But different from health saving is that if you don't use this money, you get to keep it, right? Now, it's just like Singapore. They have a great system where they have a very high deductible, but that deductible is actually covered by your salary. Now, this $15,000, if you have to use their deductible, is actually very high, almost $15,000. So just imagine if you were to given a limited amount, say $15,000 to spend to get a checkup. Would you shop around? I think you would. I would. And
more accountability.
Price transparency. So that way you can say, okay, I want to go to if you go to auto shop, there's a price listed. You go to a restaurant, there's a price listed. But if you go to a hospital, is the price listed? No. So that's
one of the
exactly.
mechanisms.
Yeah, one of the is price transparency to help patient to choose.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, if you'll hold on for just a moment, before we let you go, is there a website where people can learn more about you and your thinking?
Absolutely. I need your vote and I need your prayers. The website is peterkuo.org.
Okay.
Peterkuo.org.
K-U-O.
K-U-O is a Taiwanese spelling.
Sorry.
So peterkuo.org. Yes.
Got it. Thanks, Peter. If you hold on for just a moment, we'll be back after a word from our underwriters, the Conservative Forum.
Some people think that a meeting of conservatives in Silicon Valley could fit in a small room. In fact, when the Conservative Forum was founded in 2003, we did meet in a small room, a coffee shop in San Jose. It doesn't get more grassroots than this. It may surprise you that there are thousands of people right here in Silicon Valley who share your principles of liberty, free markets, and limited government. Since our humble beginnings in that coffee shop, we've outgrown 3 meeting halls. From San Jose to Gilroy to Mill Valley, we bring hundreds of people together each month from all over the Bay Area to promote the principles of American liberty. How do we do it? It starts with a stellar lineup of speakers. Speakers like Steve Forbes, Senator Jim DeMint, Dr. Victor Davis Hanson, Lieutenant Colonel Alan West, Andrew Breitbart, Pamela Geller, and many others. These speakers passionately articulate our shared principles and remind us why conservatism isn't just the smart choice, it's also the moral choice. Our monthly meetings are only one dimension of the forum. We underwrite The Right Side, a monthly television show on cable access channel KMVT. We also host a monthly Constitution discussion group and provide tables at our meetings for more than a dozen local groups who share our love of liberty to promote their specific cause. The Conservative Forum is the premier place in Silicon Valley for conservatives to gather, become invigorated, motivated, and empowered. We welcome guests to our monthly meetings and offer special discounted pricing to first-time visitors. Take a look at our speaker lineup in the coming months and join us to learn why we say liberty is made in America.
And that was a word from our underwriters, the Conservative Forum, now the Liberty Forum. What they're best known for is their speaker series. And the second Tuesday of each month, they have a presentation at 7 o'clock at the IFES Portuguese Hall at 432 Steerland Road here in Mountain View, just 3 minutes from the studio. In March, they're going to have Ann Coulter, who is a controversial author and columnist, depending on who you are. In April, Charles C.W. Cook, editor of National Review Online, will be on tap at the forum. And in, I think it's in May, Lawrence J. McQuillan, Senior Fellow and Director of the Center on Entrepreneurial Innovation at the Independent Institute, will be there. You can find out more information at cfsv.org if you'd like information about times, speakers, and other information about the forum. In closing this evening, just wanted to point out that in many cases, people may not be tracking the insurance commissioner role for the state of California, but it is something that can affect us from everything from our property and casualty insurance to our life insurance to the health insurance that is at the top of people's minds here in the state. All of these contribute to the affordability or unaffordability of lifestyle here in California, plus making sure that the things that are protected for you are the ones that are important for you. So do check more out about the role of California Commissioner for Insurance, but also about Peter specifically, and do reach out to him at peterquo.org. We thank you for joining us this evening, and we look forward to seeing you again either on the show or in person. But if you just can't wait, reach out to us at therightsidetv@gmail.com, and we'll try to get a response to you as quickly as possible. Thanks again. This has been The Right Side. I've been Chris Pareja, and we'll see you soon.